Welcome back to Squawk Box. I'm Jim Iuorio with breaking data. We have the annualized GDP number, which came out as 3.1%, up from an expected 3.0, but a little worse than last month's, which was 3.2. We have personal consumption, also a beat, came out as 1.3 from an expected 1.2. Price index came out as plus 0.8, a little worse than what was expected, plus 0.9. Core PCE, 1.0. These are a little bit less important numbers, expected 1.3. Jobless claims, another important one, came up as 215,000, which is near where it was expected at 214, still near historic lows, at least 50-year lows there. Continuing claims came out 1657, a little bit higher than 1662, a little bit lower actually. Next one's important is wholesale inventories number. Well, actually, that one doesn't come out for a little bit. The reaction here is the stock market likes it a little bit. I actually thought that if these numbers came out good, the stock market would ignore it as backward-looking data and concentrate what's had them in a bad mood, which has been the trade dispute. But actually, the stock market likes it. Last month, the numbers came out blockbuster. The stock market rallied, but then finished on the lows. The 10-year when we started was 2.255. Now it's 2.249. So not much of a move there. Back to you, Joe.
All right, Jim. Joining us now live on set, CNBC senior economics reporter Steve Liesman. You're not chief yet, right?
No.
Santelli was almost chief. And our own Rick Santelli, because there's the number. Here, I tried to get Richard Fisher to tell me something, Rick Santelli, and that is whether deregulation, tax reform, just being less, taking the yoke, the Obama yoke off of the private sector, will that allow the economy to really grow at 3%? Or in Steve's view, he argues that 2% is all we're really capable of doing because of population and because of productivity.
Can I amend that slight mischaracterization? I think all that is worth something, and I think it's worth 0.3 to 0.5. I think it's like...
Can we do 3% ever if you...
I think 3 is hard, and I've done the math on that, Joe.
He says we can.
It's tough to get there.
Why do you say we can? How was he wrong about underestimating the American...
What? Because I think all the issues you brought up are going to give the momentum back to the economy. I think the micromanaging... Listen, I know it's political season, and Joe Biden's saying that they planted the seeds, okay? They didn't plant the seeds. We didn't have much
stepped
over 2%,
on the seeds. Yeah.
Okay? And what we have now is due to simple things. Yes, regulation. Every source I talk to, these things are underestimated. And the tax reform, yes, it gives you that one big jump, but it's going to continue to keep on giving over time. And I think capital investment, which has been a little on the stingy side, I see that as the new silver bullet.
Steve tells me that job growth in the Obama years, that's when it all started, and it was actually better than it is now, and that if that is your foot on the neck of the private sector, why did the private sector do so? Why did the stock market do so well under Obama? Why are you saying the yoke?
Across the creek. Across the creek. Markets have a tendency to heal themselves, and politicians take credit for it.
Do you think corporations were during those 8 years, did they have a tough go of it with all the regulations and Obamacare and the higher taxes?
Yeah, about as tough a go as they're having now with tariffs and the Trump administration's interventions into capital and private markets.
I used to do this in Chicago, and I'm going to do it in New York.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The last administration was this, okay?
Right.
And I'm not talking politics. If you want business to do well, you don't pick on them, you don't try to make their life miserable, and you don't attack banks, because attacking banks would be like taking the transmission out of your car, putting it in drive, and then wondering why you're not going anywhere.
Your expression is better than it was in the past, but it still looks like you just ate something from the cow pasture. Even though you're smiling, I can
recall the last administration acting to save the banking system.
Oh, yeah.
Am I missing something?
Yeah. You don't save the banking system.
It's working.
You don't save the banking system.
Rewrite history here?
Yeah.
The last administration saved the banks.
History. We're actually giving history a chance to show its face in public.
I can tell you from personal experience that the last thing the Obama administration wanted to do was to save the banking system. It is exactly what they were forced to do, and I think it's what they did. So I think you're rewriting history a little bit, Mr.
You guys realize we're back in middle school and Joe's basically yelling, fight, 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 from the sidelines.